Now we are discussing questions from exercises. First, let's go through question number 17. Careful measurement of electric field at the surface of a black box indicates that net outward flux through the surface of the box is 8 into 10 cube Newton meter square per coulomb. What is the net charge inside the box? If the net outward flux through the surface of the box were 0, could you conclude that there were no charges inside the box? Why or why not? So let's begin with the first one. So what is given in the question? In the question, flux is given. Flux is 8 into 10 cube Newton meter square per coulomb. Okay, now to find the charge, net charge, we can use that simple equation Gauss's law, that is phi is equal to q by epsilon 0. Okay, now substituting for epsilon 0, we'll get q equal to epsilon 0 into phi, that is 0.07 microcoulomb or 7.08 into 10 raised to minus 8. So the net charge inside the box is 0.07 microcoulomb. Then what was the second question? If the net outward flux through the surface of the box were 0, can we conclude that there are no charges? So from this equation, if phi is equal to 0, this equation of phi is equal to q by epsilon 0, if phi equal to 0, we will get q is equal to 0. But that q is what? Total charge enclosed by the surface. So if the flux is 0, it does not mean that the surface do not enclose any charge. It can enclose many charges, but it means that the total charge enclosed by the surface is 0. The sum of charges can be 0, but it never means that no charge is enclosed by the given surface. So that is the meaning of that statement. Now coming to question number 18, a point charge plus 10 microcoulomb is at a distance 5 centimeter directly above the center of a square of side 10 centimeter as shown in figure. What is the magnitude of electric flux through the square? Hint also is given. Think of the square as one face of a cube with edge 10 centimeter. So this is what is given. So you are asked to find the flux through this surface. So this is what is given in that hint. That means that surface itself, that 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter, that square surface can be considered to be a part of the cube whose side length is 10 centimeter. So with respect to that cube, that charge will come at the center of that cube. Now where lies the charge? At the center of the cube, and the surface has become a closed surface. So if we are considering only that square surface, no, it is not a closed surface, it is an open surface, but the surface of a cube is a closed surface. Okay, so this given surface, first we have to assume it as a closed surface, then only it will become a Gaussian surface and you can apply Gauss's law. So now the cube is a Gaussian surface. Now what is the flux through this Gaussian surface as per Gauss's law? Flux through the Gaussian surface is q by epsilon 0. So through all the 6 faces of the cube has got 6 faces. Through all the 6 faces, the total flux is q by epsilon 0. Okay, and we are asked to find the flux through only one surface. Like the 6 surfaces are there. Through that 6 surface, the flux is q by epsilon 0. So what will be the flux through one surface? Flux through one surface will be phi total by 6. So that is what is given. Phi total equal to q by epsilon 0, and that phi total is equal to 6 into phi, where phi is the flux through each surface. So flux through each surface is 1 by 6 of phi total, that is 1 by 6 of q by epsilon 0. So substituting the values of q, epsilon 0 and all, we will get the answer to be 1.88 into 10 raised to 5 Newton meters square per coulomb. So that is the answer. So this concept is very important. That is, you are asked to find the flux through a surface. So first of all, you should imagine that surface to be a part of Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface means what? Closed surface. So first imagine that given surface to be a part of closed surface. Then it will become a Gaussian surface and you can apply Gauss's law. Now coming to question 19. A point charge 2 microcoulomb is at the center of a cubic Gaussian surface 9 centimeter on edge. What is the net electric flux through the surface? Okay, so charge is given and Gaussian surface edge is given. What is the net electric flux through the surface? So this question now little bit misleading. You are asked to find only the flux. Flux is given by what? Q by epsilon 0. So you may be thinking why this center this Gaussian surface 9 centimeter, that edge length, why it is given? Okay, so that is a little bit misleading. Actually, you need to find only the total flux, which is Q by epsilon 0. It's given the charge enclosed is 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. So your answer comes to be 2.26 into 10 raised to 5 Newton meter square per coulomb. Okay, so such questions usually comes for board exam also, and you will get misled because edge length is given. You may think that something is to be done with that given data. So think carefully. The flux is only Q by epsilon 0. You need to substitute only that. Now coming to question 20. A point charge causes an electric flux minus 1 into 10 cube Newton meter square per coulomb to pass through a spherical Gaussian surface of 10 centimeter radius centered on the charge. If the radius of the surface were doubled, how much flux would pass through the surface? That is the first question. What is the value of the point charge? So what is given in the question? Flux is given and it's given spherical Gaussian surface of 10 centimeter radius centered. That means the Gaussian surface is spherical in shape. At the center of that Gaussian surface you have the charge. So the first question is, if the radius of Gaussian surface were doubled. So flux through a Gaussian surface of radius 10 centimeter is minus 1 into 10 cube. And if the radius of Gaussian surface is doubled, means what? Now the radius of the surface is 20. How much flux would pass through the surface? Will there be any difference in flux if the radius is doubled? No, that is the answer. Because flux is given by what? Phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Flux depends only on the charge enclosed by the surface. It do not depend on the radius of the Gaussian surface or position of the Gaussian surface. So the flux depends only on the charge enclosed by the surface. So even if the radius of the Gaussian surface is doubled, the flux remains same since the charge remains same. So the answer to the first question is no. No dependence on the size of the Gaussian surface or radius of the Gaussian surface. Now coming to B part, what is the value of point charge? That part is very simple. You have to use Gauss's law, that is phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0, where Q equal to net charge enclosed by the surface and epsilon 0 value you know. Just substitute and find and you will get the answer minus 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. And that coulomb 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb can be written as nano coulomb. So that's the answer. Now coming to question number 21. A conducting sphere of radius 10 centimeter has an unknown charge. If the electric field 20 centimeter from the center of the sphere is 1.5 into 10 cube Newton per coulomb and points radially inward, what is the net charge on the sphere? What is the net charge on the sphere? That's what you are asked to find. So it's given electric field is pointing radially inward. So it's sure the type of charge, it is negative. That part we got. Now we have to find how much is that charge. Okay, so how will we get that charge? It's given sphere. So we can use that equation of spherical shell. Okay, even if we are not studying that equation of charged sphere, we can use that that equation for a charged spherical shell. So we know outside. So here 10 centimeter is the radius, and we are asked to find the field, means field at 20 centimeter is given. So what field is, which field is referred here? Field at an outer point, because only 10 centimeter radius the sphere is having. Okay, so what is given is field at an outer point. So what is the expression for field at an outer point? E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 d square, where d is the distance of that point from the center of the sphere. How much is that d here? 20 centimeter, that is 0.2 meter. Electric field intensity E also is given, and what we are asked to find is Q. So you can substitute in that equation and rearrange that equation and get what? Q. So you will get it to be 6.67 into 10 raised to 9 coulomb, 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. Okay, that is to be corrected there. It's written 10 raised to 9. It is actually 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. So 6.67 nano coulomb. And since the field is inward, the charge is negative. So minus 6.67 nanocoulomb. So that's the answer. Now coming to question number 22. A uniformly charged conducting sphere of 2.4 diameter, 2.4 meter diameter has a surface charge density of 80 microcoulomb per meter square. Find the charge on the sphere and what is the total electric flux leaving the surface of the sphere. That's what you are asked to find. So here surface charge density is given. First you are asked to find charge. So it's very easy. Surface charge density, if it is given, how will you get total charge? Very simple, that is charge density, surface charge density into that surface area. Here surface area means what? Surface area of the sphere. What is the expression for surface area of the sphere? 4 pi r square. So the expression for charge and charge on the sphere, it becomes Q equal to charge density into surface area, that is sigma into 4 pi r square. Sigma is given, that is 80 microcoulomb per meter square. Change that micro to SI unit. So 80 into 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, now substituting, you will get the answer 1.447 into 10 raised to minus 3 coulomb. Now you are asked to find total electric flux leaving the surface of the sphere. How will we get total electric flux leaving the surface of the sphere? Phi total is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Substituting for Q, what is Q? The total charge of the sphere. Okay, that divided by epsilon 0. Very simple. That answer is 1.63 into 10 raised to 8 Newton meter square per coulomb. Now question number 23. An infinite line charge produces a field of 9 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb at a distance of 2 centimeter. Calculate the linear charge density. So it's very easy. We know the equation. Electric field produced by a linear charge or a line charge distribution is E is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon 0 r v rod. Here it is written d. No problem. So what will be the expression for lambda? Lambda will be equal to 2 pi epsilon 0 into d into E. Direct substitution, and we'll get the answer to be 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb per meter. Now question number 24. Two large thin metal plates are parallel and close to each other. On their inner faces, the plates have surface charge densities of opposite signs and of magnitude 17 into 10 raised to minus 22 coulomb per meter square. What is E? That means the electric field in the outer region of the first plate. Second case, in the outer region of the second plate, and C, between the plates. So this question, the case which we discussed while discussing the second application of Gauss's law. In the slides, I gave this portion. So outside the plates, the electric field will be 0, and in between the plates, the field will be sigma by epsilon 0. So the same concept we are using here. Okay, so in the regions 1 and 3, the electric field E is 0. This is because the electric fields produced by the two plates in these regions are of equal magnitudes and opposite directions. So they cancel each other. The electric field E in the region 2 is given by sigma by epsilon 0, and just substituting we will get the answer to be 1.92 into 10 raised to minus 10 Newton per Coulomb. So that's the answer to that question.